the changing nature of the information that we've been getting as legislators from the Secretary of State's office has been most disappointing. I'm going to hold up a hard copy of a memo that we all got as members of the legislature dated November 12th from the Secretary of State's office. It has a signature on it. On that day, he sent us a frequently asked questions memo. And in it, it said, did Fulton County count ballots without observation? He says, this particular issue remains under investigation. The Secretary of State's office had a state election monitor and a state post-certified investigator who remained with Fulton County workers, even though some party-appointed poll watchers may have left. Since both the observer and the investigator remained with Fulton County workers, scanning was observed by the Secretary of State's office at all times. And it's in bold letters. I'm going to read that again. Since both observer and investigator remained with Fulton County workers, scanning was observed by the Secretary of State's office at all times, in bold letters. That same exact language appears on a second memo from the Secretary of State's office on November 19th, which will be in your email if you kept it. Then the video comes, and there's no observer in the video. Now, I have some other issues with the video that shows at State Farm Arena where the observers were out of the room and the ballot counting resumed. I don't think that is as inflammatory as people have seen it to be, but this is my problem with it. There was nobody from the Secretary of State in that video when they restarted counting. And we were told twice, and I repeated this in public multiple times because I believe the Secretary of State's office when they told us that there was an investigator and an observer from the office at all times, because I had gotten it twice from their office. The video comes out, he's not there. They send another email to the legislature on December 4th, debunking the claims in the video from the Senate testimony. At the very last paragraph, this is what it reads. There was about an hour that workers scanned ballots before a state monitor arrived, but video shows those moments. They changed the story without even acknowledging that they changed the story. And that damages credibility. We have to be better than that. We have to be better than that. When I saw that, I was like, that doesn't add up. And it doesn't make sense. So I started doing some even more research, and I found this factcheck.org statement that the headline is video doesn't show suitcases of illegal ballots in Georgia, which, by the way, the word suitcases is an inflammatory term. It's very obvious for a casual observer that those are ballot boxes that look just like every other ballot box in Georgia. But that being said, what was most disappointing to me was this part of the statement. In a statement to PolitiFact or to factcheck.org, the Secretary of State's office, quote, we have launched an investigation into why monitors from political parties left before scanning ended. The Secretary of State's office said in this statement, while it was their right to leave early, we want to make sure they were not misled into thinking scanning had stopped for the night when it had not. Nothing we have learned from the independent monitor or our investigation have suggested any improper ballots were scanned. The monitor, who agreed to be interviewed on the condition of not being named due to death threats faced by election workers, told us he was in the room from about 8:15 p.m. and when he left and returned at 11:52. It doesn't take a whole lot of math to realize that's a lot longer than 1 hour. And then, this is the best part, the Deputy Secretary of State told factcheck.org that the monitor was not required to be there at all times, but she instructed him to return after hearing the news outlets that the county was going to cease counting for the night. This means that the Deputy Secretary of State knew the entire time that there was not an observer in the room when ballot scanning was happening, and they sent 2 memos to us saying that there was. The story doesn't add up. Somebody isn't telling the truth. And it's not acceptable, Mr. Chairman. And I'm sorry I won't be here to help clean up this mess, but there it is.
Thank you, Representative Turner. I do want to thank everybody for their service to this committee.